Billboard Rewind. Billboard Rewind. Billboard Rewind. Hello, everyone. This week on Billboard Rewind, we're stepping into a moment when pop culture itself was shifting. The new millennium was settling in, radio was louder than ever, and R&B was clearly shaping the sound of the mainstream. As the calendar flipped, the charts leaned into groove-heavy production, polished hooks, and crossover records that defined what turn-of-the-century radio actually sounded like. I'm Mama K, he's Billboard Chart Guy, and it's time to rewind the chart back to July 7th, 2001. Hello, Bill. How are you?
I am good, Mama. How are you? I was, a little nervous about this, but once I got into it, I felt a lot better because I knew most of these songs.
I knew of the top five. I knew four, it's an interesting time. It was the day after my birthday, my 30th birthday. So. Oof. Which means my 30th birthday was on a Friday. And if I'm not mistaken, I had a big 30th birthday bash on this exact Saturday. So talk about, I had my oldest child was not even maybe she was like 8 months. So we were just rolling into parenthood. And so it was an interesting time in my life, music-wise. I was probably not listening to a ton of things other than like Sesame Street and things like that. But I definitely was also listening to just regular top 40 radio. I wasn't working at the time. So it was funny. I have a lot of memories of the music of this time, but it's definitely coming from like top 40 Pro FM out of Providence, I think.
I was, so our first son was born May 1st. So we were deep in it with a newborn.
Right. And, both of us with young babies, infants. Yeah.
So
changing diapers.
So you're right. I mean, there was a lot of Raffi and Barney and Sesame Street. So, and all of this stuff was kind of periphery, but excited to start talking about it with you.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and start us off with the number 5 song from this week?
Well, it was Let Me Blow Your Mind by Eve featuring Gwen Stefani. This song peaked at number 2 a month later. And it was a huge hit overall for the year. It finished number 7 in the Hot 100 for the year 2001. I knew this one, but I had forgot it. So I was happy to realize that I knew it when I listened to it again. And I like this song. I like this song a lot. Eve, as a lead artist, had 2 top 10 hits besides Let Me Blow Your Mind. She had a song, Gangsta Lovin', that went to number 2 in 2002. So the thing that struck me immediately was the background music, and it sounded familiar to me. And I was like, what does this sound like? And then I realized that it sounds very similar to Family Affair by Mary J. Blige. And I came to learn that that song and Let Me Blow Your Mind were both produced by Dr. Dre.
Yeah, they're both Dre disciples.
Yeah, yeah. So that, and I've always loved Mary J. Blige. So hearing this song again for the first time in 25 years or whatever it is, I was happily surprised that I even remembered it. And B, I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great song. What do you think?
Well, you may not have listened to it for 25 years. This is a staple song on my playlist that I have had going back to the first generation iPod and iPod shuffles. So I love this song. It's a great song. I remember it when it came out. It was probably being played a lot on the radio. and I love the groove of it. It's got that kind of that really kind of mid-tempo groove, very catchy as well. And I really I didn't know much. I know about Eve, but I didn't know her work other than who she was. And I know she was probably, she was a Dre disciple, as I had said. She was also kind of the first lady of Rough Riders, the album, excuse me, the label. And she was their most visible artist by far. And Rough Riders is, if you don't know or familiar with them, they had DMX on their label. They kind of were contrasting, competitive with Bad Boy Records, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But this was a big hit too. It has Gwen Stefani on it, who at that time was still fronting No Doubt, but I felt, she was coming off that Tragic Kingdom album. Well, the Tragic Kingdom was 1995, but she was getting ready to release Rocksteady after this song was released with No Doubt. But this song, I feel like, laid the groundwork for her solo career, because it kind of transitioned her into a crossover a little bit. And she's great. She brings a little pop edge to it, and Eve has the rap chops, so it works very well as a collaboration. And I think I saw somewhere the industry execs thought it wouldn't work, and it became a huge crossover hit. And in fact, it won the Grammy Award for best rap sung collaboration. So it definitely was a big hit. And it bridged hip hop and pop audiences together. I think you'll see there's a lot of that in the early 2000s, and we're going to kind of touch upon that again with some of this other stuff. But this is a great song. This is a great song. I still listen to it. It never went away, because I think it was definitely on my first iTunes music playlist, and it still persists to the days of me out running. I hear it. So it's a great song. It's a great song.
No, I like I said, I really I enjoyed listening to it and love it. Loved it. Loved the groove. Loved the whole thing. Gwen was, terrific in it, and so happy it was on the list. I was very
yes, I was happy when that was one of the first songs I saw when we were reviewing the list together. So I was excited for that one. It's a good one. But we can want to move on to number 4.
Yeah, why don't you take it?
Okay, so the number 4 song was the one I didn't know. And I think even listening to it, I still don't remember it. But it was Peaches and Cream by the band 112. It was from their album Part 3. It's an R&B song. I'll let you kind of get into the charting of it. I didn't know much about this band, didn't know the song. I listened to it. It's an all right song. It's not something that would have ever stuck in my mind, because clearly I probably have heard it if I was listening to Top 40 radio. I don't remember it at all. I don't remember the band. What I did learn about the band is that they were on Bad Boy Records, and they were found by our, P. Diddy. So we know all about him now. And this was one of his discovery bands. This became their signature song as well. The members of the band go by the name Slim, Mike, Darren, and Q. They're a R&B group, very, very kind of cookie cutter of the time. They were out of Atlanta, and they were riding the early 2000s R&B trends for sure. Now, this did win Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group, which is crazy, because in 2002, I never heard of them, and they've got a Grammy, so good for them on that. I'm sure if you're into this music and you are familiar with this early 2000s R&B kind of hip hop groove stuff, you would know them. It just didn't cross over into my consciousness, nor if it did, it didn't stay there. So there's really not much other than I can say is that I listened to it. I've already forgotten it. Didn't do much for me.
Yeah, I tried to listen to it a second time today just to kind of freshen up before we recorded, and it still didn't do anything for me. I just couldn't get into the song at all. I like you, I had never heard this in my life.
Yeah.
To talk about their numbers, it peaked at number 4 on the Hot 100. It did get up to number 2 on the Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop Singles and Tracks chart. Overall, they had 2 top 10s as a lead artist, Peaches and Cream, which is what we're talking about now. And then a year earlier, they got to number 6 with a song called It's All Over Now. The thing that most interested me as I was doing some research was these guys performed on the song I'll Be Missing You with Faith Evans and Puff Daddy, the tribute to
Okay. I didn't know
Notorious B.I.G. Yeah, they performed on that song with those folks. But besides that, this song really, I was kind of like you, Mama. This didn't do much for me to, looking at it again 25 years later.
Yeah, in fact, when we first read down the countdown list, I was like, "Is that the band Peaches and Cream?" I didn't know what I was looking at first because it just didn't spark any recollection in me at all. And I thought, "Oh, I'll know the song when I listen to it," because that happens probably 9 times out of 10, where I don't know it by the name, but I'll listen to it. This didn't work for me either, so it just is forgettable, I think. Not one of, I know P. Diddy was pretty, I would say, prolific, and I mean that in a musical sense, not in his parties. And he had a lot of artists that he did discover. This is not one that had any lasting, for the industry.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree. But there was a stretch there where he was everywhere, P. Diddy.
Oh, yes. Well, he was Puffy back then.
Puffy, yes. Sean, yeah.
It was Puffy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. We've gone through them all. We've gone through all the generations. And
right.
He's not going to jail, so.
There we go.
No comment on that.
No comment.
So, yeah, that's about all I can say about Peaches and Cream and the song, about the song Peaches and Cream. See, I keep getting backwards. The band 112.
Okay. Should we go to number 3?
You go right ahead.
All right. So this is Hanging by a Moment by the band Lifehouse. It peaked at number 2 in this summer of 2001. Looking at their chart history, besides Hanging by a Moment, they also got to number 5 4 years later with a song called You and Me, which I don't remember. This song, again, in doing the research, this popped out at me. Probably won't mean much to you, but for us Bruce heads, the song was produced by Ron Anciello, who has been working as Bruce's primary producer for the last 10 to 12 years. So this must have been earlier in his career. He produced this song for Lifehouse. It's okay. It doesn't do much for me. The note I wrote down, which is probably going to make you mad, is I said, this was a poor man's Goo Goo Dolls. How about that?
How dare you?
That's what I thought.
It's funny because, I'll let you continue. But I kind of put them kind of squarely in that vibe as well. Somewhere I was thinking, and I'll give you my thoughts on them and the song and Lifehouse in general. But between kind of a Hootie, Goo Goo Dolls, leaning towards a little bit towards Toad the Wet Sprocket, because there is some progressive alternative vibe to them as well, but they're definitely in the pop rock, and that's where they live today. I don't want to cut you off on your hatred of Lifehouse.
No, but I ended on a high note. Poor man's Goo Goo Dolls.
That's not very nice.
So it's all yours.
I am a big Lifehouse fan. Shocker. This band and this song in particular, this song is one of my favorites of the early 2000s or the 2000s in general. Also one that has been on my playlist since then, including many of their other songs. You and Me is a great song. I know you mentioned that. That came out a couple years later. I actually used that as the soundtrack of a slideshow I did with my family, photos on a trip, and has good fond memories on that. But they continued with another couple hits, First Time, Whatever It Takes. And then they, even in their later years, I think it was like 2010 or so, they had Halfway Gone, which is from their album Smoke and Mirrors. I really like their kind of adaptable sound. I really like, it's like kind of the post grunge crossover without all that distortion. It's more melody based, but it fits in rock and pop and adult formats. And I really love this song. And the interesting thing about this song is it is one of the very few songs that in the history of the Billboard charts that was the #1 song of the year that never hit #1 on the weekly charts. And it was just goes to show its longevity sitting there week after week after week. It's one of the longest charting songs in Billboard history. And some of the other ones, notably, that did the same thing where they were the #1 song of the given year, but did not ever chart top of the chart on a weekly chart, was, interestingly enough, a couple of country pop crossovers. Breathe by Faith Hill in 1999. How Do I Live by Leanne Rimes in 1997. And more recently, Justin Bieber, 2016, with the song Love Yourself. Never got to #1 on the weekly charts, but ended up staying there, week after week in the top 10 and just, being there forever. And they ended up as the #1 song for those respective years. So this is one of those rare occasions where it was the #1 song of 2001. And it is the softer alternative rock stuff. People might call it vanilla. I enjoy this. I enjoy this kind of lighter, a little bit lighter alternative pop rock stuff. I love the Goo Goo Dolls. And I love Third Eye Blind, which they just performed yesterday in the halftime. I don't know if you saw that halftime of the football game. And that was a nice treat to see them back. But I like this vibe and I like this music and I like guitar-based kind of, pop rock. It's one of my favorite Sirius channels. I will not apologize for it. I enjoy it. And I like this band, and I have several of their songs that I really, really like and have on my playlist. So Well, you go, girl. I am an unabashed Lifehouse, hanging by a moment fan, and it has lasted forever. I think it's used a lot in commercial. I mean, it definitely has endured, and it's a huge song on if you go into like hot ACs, or it's on pop rocks, as I mentioned. So it's still being played out there, and
are they still together?
They were touring right up until I think they kind of are doing some side projects, I know, but they're still out there. I haven't seen them recently, but I would say within the last 10 years they've been touring, kind of in the same vibe as the Toad the Wet Sprockets and whatnot out there in the world. But I wouldn't mind catching them at, like, if they came to like the Strand in Providence or something. I would enjoy that for sure. But yeah, so I'm a fan. I know it's not your thing. I don't find they're a poor man's Goo Goo Dolls. I find that they're just as good.
I knew that would stick in your craw.
Fine. You have no taste. No, I'm kidding. I like it. So that's my Lifehouse.
All right, let's get to number 2, because this is a fun one.
Oh yes, let's get to number 2. Number 2 song this week was Lady Marmalade by Christina Aguilera, Lil' Kim, Maya, and Pink. I feel like I should sing it like they do in the song. Right. This was an enormous collaboration song that was the remake, obviously, of the Patti LaBelle 1974 hit of the same name. This one was structured as an event record. It showcased all of the artists kind of individually. It won the Grammy Award for Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals, and it was the first all-female collaboration to reach number 1 on the Hot 100. It basically united 4 big artists, but at distinct career stages. And I love this song. It's a great song, comes from the movie Moulin Rouge. It was their signature song from that soundtrack and basically fueled the success of the soundtrack. It's great. Christina, she was coming off of her teen pop stuff, but moving into her stripped, a little bit shedding her teen image. And this song and her performance in it and the whole Moulin Rouge connection kind of was that, shifting of her personality. She was going into the stripped albums image, which, dirty and a little less teeny bopper. Lil' Kim was already an established superstar, rap superstar, and she was coming off her notorious KIM album in 2000. Maya, she was, your typical kind of Brandy style R&B. She was big at the time. She had the song Case of the X that was a big hit just prior to this. And then there was Pink, who was really kind of at the beginning of her stardom. She had her R&B start, and then she really shifted to like pop rock, and obviously exploded with the Misunderstood album, which came out right after this. And I remember listening to this song, and again, Pink was, in my mind, she was kind of the lesser known at that particular time. And I remember being like, wow, she has some great chops when she does her parts. And it's funny to say this now because it's Pink and she's been around for two plus decades as a superstar, probably more other than maybe Christina, bigger than all of them. But at the time, it was just before that. And I was kind of like rooting for her to get her breakout. And guess what? Right. She didn't need my help. But yeah, and the one last thing I'll say about this song is there's a line in there, and I'm not even sure what it actually says. It's right at the end where it's a spoken part, and I believe it's Lil' Kim who says it. And she says something and it sounds, and I will never not hear it, especially with the end of the KMS era of our lives. There's a line where it sounds like she's saying, Mr. Minahan.
Oh.
And I think I looked it up once to see what she really said, and I've forgotten already what it is, because it will never be anything but where she goes, Mr. Minahan. And when I'm running and I hear this song and that part comes on, I laugh. And I just think of Kirk Minahan and the KMS show. So that's the KMS tie-in to the song for me. So tell me your thoughts on this?
I love this.
Enormous cultural moment.
Love this song. Love the original by LaBelle.
It's a great song.
The original was released in 1974. It got to number 1. The version we're talking about this week got to number 1. And I don't know if you'll remember, I gave Kirk a quiz, and I was scrounging in my office trying to find my notes. I couldn't find it. But the quiz was, name a song that hit number 1 by the original artist and the people who covered it. And this was one of the answers to that quiz. Yeah,
that sounds vaguely familiar in my memory. Did he get them right?
Yeah. I think he got all of them, of course.
Of course he did. We're going to say he did, even if we don't remember.
Right. No, I love this song. I watched the video twice. Then I found their performance at the MTV Music Awards and watched that. And you're right, Pink, because she wasn't Pink yet, and her vocals on this are just unbelievable. Really very impressive. It's just such a great song that, putting those 4 artists together, it was going to be hard for them not to have a hit.
Yeah. I mean, in the production of putting them all together with their like showcased parts is just phenomenal. I mean, it's really, they did a great job, and the layering of their vocals, and they each shine and they each have their moments. And yeah, it's a top notch. It's a top notch song, and one of my favorite female collaborations for sure.
Very saw that movie.
The movie was great. I used to own it on VHS with John Leguizamo and Nicole Kidman. Yeah, it's a great movie. Great movie.
Yeah, but I stopped at the Lady Marmalade was all I needed. I didn't need any more to know about Moulin Rouge. So, so I was very happy to stop with this song. Yeah, great song. Great, happy. Yeah, it's good that it's on the charts this week.
Yeah.
All right, number one.
All right, you go.
You Remind Me by Usher. Number one on the Hot 100, and also got to number one on the Hot R&B hip hop charts. Mama, I had never heard this song until I started getting ready.
This was a song you should have heard.
No, I swear, I missed Usher completely. I understood how big he was, but like, if I was watching an award show or something where he was performing, it was just like background noise to me. I wasn't paying attention. But I come to find out he's had 15 top 10 singles that run from 1997 to 2012.
He's one of the very few, and I won't say very few, but like he's one of those, the sounds of that era that I love. Like there's a lot like the Peaches and Cream 112 that are nothing to me. Like the difference between those two are so night and day in my mind. Usher has some bangers, and he is perfect for this type of music. And because he's great.
Yeah. So understanding his significance, I get it, but he never hit my radar. I had never heard this song, at least I think that, when I listened to it once, and when I first time I listened to it, I was like, but I listened to it twice today, and I'm starting to dig it. I'm starting to really like it.
It's not my favorite of Usher's catalog by any stretch, but it's a good song. It's a good song.
Well, right now it's my favorite because it's the only one I can.
Well, let me give you a couple of other ones.
Go ahead. Take it away.
Well, first of all, my introduction to Usher, believe it or not, this is going to sound funny, is he was before he was really making music like on the national stage. I mean, he might have been making music, but I didn't know about him. He was an actor on Bold and the Beautiful, and he goes by the name, his name is Usher Raymond, and then he goes by Raymond Usher. Like they switched it. His name on the show was Raymond, but he was a boyfriend of one of the lead characters. He had a smaller part, integral part, but yeah, that's where I remembered him initially. But he kind of made when he started hitting on my radar was in his My Way album 1997, which was You Make Me Wanna was a big hit for him. Nice and Slow was a hit. And then this album, obviously this song was a hit, as is number one this week. And he also had another song called You Got It Bad. You got it, you got it, you got it bad. That song's on that album. That's a good groove, kind of slow jam dance song. And then he released Confessions in 2004, and that was a huge album. It's like one of the most dominant, like in the Hot 100 history for that R&B. And his big song there, which you have to know, is Yeah. It's played like at every stadium. It's so good. That's
is that yeah.
Yep. I can't even sing it because he sings it so fast, so the lyrics are hard to sing. I can't sing anyway, but that's his song. And then he has one called Burn from that. And then he kind of transitions a little bit into some EDM style club, soft EDM, mind you, but club music. And he had Oh My God, or OMG, 2010. That was on his Raymond versus Raymond album. And DJ's Got Us Falling in Love, which was another song off of that. So he's kind of gone through all these little phases. R&B heartthrob. He started as a soap actor, crossover star. Then he became a huge chart crusher, and then kind of EDM pop. And then he was hosting The Voice for a couple seasons back in 2013, 2014. So he's had a big huge career. And this was his first Grammy winning single too, and best male R&B vocal performance. So it's been decorated, and he's decorated. There's some stuff that ties him into Diddy. I don't know about that, but we'll just leave that, another podcast another time. But
right.
I am an Usher fan, and I love some of his big hits. They're also continually on my playlists. So.
All right, I'll check. I will. To be fair, I will check it out because
I think you'll like some of this. If you like the first, like "Let Me Blow Your Mind," and you like that, it's good like that. Like you'll find some stuff in there of his.
Okay.
All right. Very dancey, very catchy. So yeah,
I'm all about dancing.
It's all about dancing. I want to see dancing.
Yeah, my goodness. Should we do our bonuses?
We're ready to go do our bonuses. Let's go. You start.
No, you start.
Oh, I start. Oh, that's right. I start. Gotcha. All right. Well, we're going to kind of stay in the same neighborhood as Usher then. So looking through, this is another one. I figured since this was kind of an R&B heavy, dancey kind of vibe chart, with the exception of Hanging in a Moment by Lifehouse, I was going to pick one of my bonus songs, was going to be in this vein too. And it's one of my favorites of this era as well. And one of similar artists in my mind to Usher, maybe not so much stylistically. It's a little less, it's a little more rap, but I love me some Nelly. And this is Ride With Me. And that is the number one song for this week. It peaked at number 3. It was on the Hot 100 for 25 plus weeks. This is just a fun kind of hip hop groove song, and it's melodic, and it has a great hook, and you sing along to it. Like you do the callback, "Hey, must be the money." Like you can't.
Oh, I know that song. Okay.
Yeah, you know that song. Yeah. It's a fun song, and it's just, you can't not sing along when you hear it. And Nelly, what can you say about him? He's great. He broke out with his Country Grammar album back in 2000. So he's a St. Louis, kind of introduced Midwest rap to the mainstream, which, you always hear about East Coast, West Coast. Well, Nelly is smack dab in the middle in Missouri. And this is one of, Country Grammar was one of the best-selling rap debut albums ever. It was huge. It had Ride With Me, which this song that I picked, and Country Grammar, which is also another great song you would know. It's the one that has the Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Pop song part in it. Like, I can't sing it, but you would know it if you heard it. Okay. Yeah, I would say go do some Usher and Nelly recon. And then, of course, one of the other favorite Nelly songs, "It's Getting Hot in Here." That came out. Nellyville was 2002. And then he actually had a collab with Tim McGraw in 2004, and it's called "Over and Over." And that is a good song as well. I'm a Nelly fan. And this was like a summer anthem. For every summer, Ride With Me, you still want to put that on your driving playlist and your girls' trips. And it's a great song. And that album it came from is Certified Diamond. And that song is a lot of the reason for it. It endures, and you hear it all the time. So yeah, that's my first bonus song. Had to go with the Nelly.
Yeah, no, it's funny on my other show, like the last 3 weeks, people have been talking about Nelly, and I'm like, oh, okay, Nelly, it's getting hot in here. That's the one. But yeah. So,
you're gonna go ride with me, and say, "Hey, must be the money." Yeah. I can't sing it, But the reason we don't play the songs on the show is it's a licensing thing. If anybody's wondering why I have to hum and sing these songs, we would be charged $50,000 an episode if we actually played it.
Right. Yeah. So in other words, we'll endure with our singing. Right?
Yes. Or you can just hit the link at the bottom of the liner notes and listen to it to yourself. That's
right. That's right.
All right, my friend, you're up. What you got?
Yeah, I'm going to do something a little funky here for my bonus songs. I'm going to do 2 together.
Okay, you can do it.
Breaking the rules, Mama.
Oh boy, you're a bad boy.
But I think you'll let me do it because both songs are from one of my favorite Janet Jackson.
Okay, go for it.
So, All For You was number 21 this week, and it eventually got to number 1. And then Someone to Call My Lover was number 29 this week, which eventually got to number 3. Overall, Janet had 26 top 10 hits, including 10 number 1s. And the song All For You was the last number 1 song for her. We mentioned earlier, or maybe we didn't, but Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis produced these 2 songs for Janet Jackson. They also produced the Usher song, You Remind Me. So I've always been a big Janet Jackson fan. These songs are a little, I'm not exactly sure how to describe them. They feel looser. She feels not so buttoned up. If right. I'm trying to think of the right
it's funny you say that because obviously her Rhythm Nation stuff was that was like this militaristic in videos.
Yes.
And the dance was very, crisp and almost marchy. So the music, I think, kind of naturally followed that as well. But All For You is a great song. I'm not sure I know the other one. I'm sure I do. I'm sure if I listened to it, I would know it. It's just it's not sparking a memory by the title.
Yeah. So this might help you. So yeah, I saw All For You and I was like, oh, I remember that. And I watched it and I remembered I loved that song.
The video.
Then I went down further on the list and I saw Someone to Call My Lover. And I was like, what is this song? And this is the song that has the famous guitar riff from a song from America called Ventura Highway.
I love that song. I know that song.
Okay. Well, if you know that guitar riff, that's the sample in this song. And I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot about this. So just having that riff in this other song caused me to want to talk about both of them. So again, this is what I'm trying, that she was just looser and freer. And I had never heard her have a sample so out of the ordinary from her musicality. To use something from the band America was really cool. So
that's a great song. I know. I'm sure I've heard of it, and I'll go listen to that. You go listen to some Usher and Nelly, and I'll listen to that Janet song.
So this was kind of
All For You. I remember there was something with that video that was memorable, and I remember it. I just feel like there was either someone was in it. I don't know. Because I didn't select it. I didn't do any research on that, but there's something in there that I'll have to look up too.
But I think in my mind, and I could be wrong, like this was kind of the last big moments for Janet Jackson in terms of the hits. And both, but I would recommend both these songs and glad to see them on the charts.
And they were both there.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I was just speaking of videos, pause and say our little condolences to MTV for finally ending their run. They haven't played videos in 20 years, but we don't have to see ridiculousness on loop for 10 straight years, but it's sad because there's a lot of memories with MTV. And I saw something just really quickly before I do my last bonus track. I think it would be a great idea if they wanted to keep MTV up and running and not have to spend a dime. They should just, in real time, and I wish this was my idea, it wasn't. I read someone had posted it, but just from day one, video killed the radio killed the video, whatever, video, you know what I'm saying, video killed the video star. If they just from that very first video just run all the entire, like, everything in real time all over again, like just start and until of course they stopped playing videos. And they went to all their reality TV stuff, but maybe 10 years, let's just say the 80s, just the 80s, start day one and just let it run just like you did as if it was day one all over again. I would watch that. Do you know how excited I would be to tune in?
You would just have that on in the background. It would be great.
It would be fantastic. You look up and there's like Nina Blackwood talking about a video and seeing Loverboy and Prince and like just watching them in real time with the news and the the updates and everything as if it was starting from scratch. I think they should do that. That'd be my programming. I would 100% pay for that service to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I MTV, like you said, when was the last time you really sat down and watched it? But I have DirecTV at home, and I have a channel called MTV Classics. And every time I was going through the guide and I'd see that, I was like, oh, and I'd go there and I'd see something that, Duran Duran or whatever it was. And you'd sit back for a few songs.
I would put that on in the background.
Yeah.
100%. That'd be fantastic. Anyway, that's my MTV sidetrack. That just talking about Janet's video made me think of that. So, all right, I'll go on to my second bonus track. And we're taking a 90-degree turn away from, actually, I'd say 180-degree turn away from the Nelly bonus track that I picked. And on number 40 this week is a song called I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack. And that is my second choice. And I picked this for a couple of reasons. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I know you said your wife likes country music. It's definitely a country pop AC crossover song, but more so it's kind of become, another longevity hit. It was a slow burn. It was on the Hot 100 for 40 plus weeks. It never got above number 9 on the Hot One, or no, I take that back. I think it got up a little higher. It was maybe it was number 9, but it was number 1 on the Hot Country chart, number 1 on AC, top 10 in the adult top 40. It was top 25 for the year end. It stayed and was on so many crossover different charts. And in one of the reasons, it's a message driven ballad. It's really like a parental message to your kids in a lot of ways. It's a big kind of a graduation life milestone song. So you're going to hear it. It's going to be played during shows and movies and, the message it's very sweet. And I remember being, hearing this, and my daughter was an infant, and it kind of struck a chord with me at the time. I was a new mom for the first time. And this song is a lot about like a message you could give your child. And it still is. And I hear it. And now, I have a grandchild and I have grown kids, and it doesn't change. Like, it really has that kind of sweet message. As far as Leanne Womack goes, she kind of came out. She was the Leanne that wasn't Leanne Rhymes when she came out in the late 90s. That's kind of how people would remember her, because there was Leanne Rhymes, who was a superstar at that time as like a teenager, and she was the next Leanne that came out, Leanne Womack, and she had some big hits. This being her biggest, but she was a kind of a bridge between classic country and contemporary country. She has the traditional country roots, but a lot more mainstream. And this won Grammy Award for Best Country Song, Best Female Country Vocal Performance. It dominated all these charts simultaneously, which is why it ended up being so big at the year-end chart. But yeah, no, it's just a good, sweet message song. And like I said, I was a new parent, and it struck a chord, and it still does, even to this day. And if you have a graduation video you have to make, this is a great one for that. It's if you're a wedding video, that type of stuff. I always think in terms of like music montages. I don't know if it is that MTV generation of me thinking in that way, like very visual. So
Right.
when I hear this song, I think of like doing family videos, and like putting a family video. And I used to do those for my kids all the time, years and years and years. I did like a year-end video, and I'm sure I put this song in there. So, yeah. So that's my Hope You Dance choice.
I'm just looking. I went on Wikipedia. Rolling Stone in 2024 ranked this song as the 75th best country song of all time.
Well, there you go. So, I mean, it's funny because I don't even really think of it as a country song. Really, it's not like twangy, and it kind of transcended that in a lot of ways, because it is more like just a cultural song in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's a great one though. And she does a great job with it, and it kind of skyrocketed her in her career and jump-started a lot of some of her. She's had a couple of other hits. I mean, she was never the superstar in country music, but she's had a really good, solid career. And this song was definitely her big moment, and still is. And there's a band called Sons of the Deserts who sing backup on it, which really helps kind of the harmonies in there. And it's just a great song. It's a staple. It's a staple for life milestone. And like I said, if you need to make like a montage or a home video, and you need something, it's very like about your kids and they're growing up and making, you hope you dance. That's the message, is don't sit on the sideline. And that's kind of goes back to what I said to you. I want to see you dance, Billboard chart guy. So listen to Usher.
Right. And then Nelly, and then
Nelly,
I Hope
and
You
then
Dance.
this song, you'll choke up and cry, and yeah,
Right.
That's.
Well, you know what? I will check it out, but as you probably could imagine, I'm a bit of a mush, so I may this may impact me. So
Well, think of your life back in 2001. You had a new baby, and
right.
you were a new parent, and this song comes on the radio. This is where I was with this song. So
okay, got it.
I think if you listen to it any other time, maybe you'd be like, ugh, that's syrupy, how cloying and annoying. But you know what? You get it at the right time in your life, and you hear it in the message, and now you have hindsight to look back through all those years of your being a parent. So it's even better.
Yes.
And thus concludes the mushy parental part of the show.
That's right. Well, listen, what are we doing next time?
All right. Well, let's get the algorithm going and see what we can pull up with our friend ChatGPT. And it's thinking, and it's thinking, and it's spinning, and it's giving. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
November 18th, 1978. We're back to the 70s.
Yeah, baby. November 18th. I like it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's 1978. I think I was just listening to that year-end countdown. Yes, like 2 days ago. So, it'll be interesting. Well, that's exciting. We're back to the 70s. Haven't had a lot of 90s. Now we got our 2000s. We've had a few 80s, had a few 70s. Yeah, I guess there's only 4 decades we're really dealing with.
Right.
Right. But we haven't had early 70s, I've noticed.
No, no, you're right. I don't. Maybe like 74 or 75 might have been the.
Yeah, we haven't gotten the early stuff, but yeah, no. Well, this will be fun. This again, we're kind of right in the heart of disco and yacht rock once again.
I like it.
I like that too. We're gonna dance again. We're gonna dance.
I'll show you the disco.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, this was great. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, by the way. And we'll
Yes, Happy New Year.
reconvene in a couple of weeks, I would assume, and have the November 18th, 1978 for Billboard Chart Guy. I'm Mama Kay, and thanks again.